Right after 9/11 happened, I was at a memorial service for another friend who died, and there was a fireman who had just come from St. Patrick's Cathedral for a service for one of his fellow firefighters. Saw me, came over, and he said, "Mr. Brokaw, you watch my generation now. You know, we're going to become the next greatest generation."
We've had sons and daughters of firefighters who enlisted, have gone to the academies and gone and fought for the country.
They've enlisted in the military. They were called out of a sense of patriotism. I've met recently some Army Rangers who are on their 10th tour in Afghanistan. Stop and think about it. In Vietnam, you served 1 year and you came home.
I speak a lot around the country, and I run into people come up to me and say, "I enlisted, because of what happened to your guys that day." And it's an emotional experience. It makes you feel proud of what your guys did.
This is for the generations who are alive. They're Pearl Harbor. This is a time they'll remember for the rest of their lives.
I think in the future, we're going to see effects on people who did not experience the event themselves, but were told about it from their parents and their teachers. We're going to see how the children in the city that day processed it differently, perhaps, than the rest of us did. Who will those children grow up to be? Will they accept that we live in a state of perpetual war now and not be sad about that?
We know that there are human beings in this world, and this has been true since time immemorial, that if they have the means and the methods to do evil, they will sometimes succeed. And we don't have full control over that. We just don't. But the one thing we do have full control over is how we respond. And we know what we're capable of, both good and bad. And I think the message is it's up to us. The world that we want to leave our children and our grandchildren, it's entirely up to us.
I think 9/11 is there with the Depression, World War II, Kennedy assassination, Watergate crimes. For my generation of people, those were the memory mileposts, if you will. 9/11 is right there.
I got a call from my daughter who was working on Bloomberg News, and she said, "Dad, have you heard?" And I didn't know what she was talking about, and she said, "Turn on the TV, a plane has hit one of the Twin Towers."